Hi everyone. This is a quick demo of Boxkite, or how to understand the behavior of your models in production. So quickly, before I show you the demo, what is Boxkite? Well, it's an easy way to track model and data drift for machine learning models. Data drift is how did the input data vary from like the features that my model was trained on, how did they vary from when I trained my model compared to the input data that it's getting when it's running in production. You care about this because if a model it gets very significantly different data when it's running in production compared to what it was trained on, then it can't reasonably be expected to work very well. And the model drift is how the predictions or the classifications that my model is making varying between when they were trained, between when it was trained versus what it's predicting in production. So it's important to keep track of these things to do MLOps properly. So let's take a look at how we track these things. It's really simple with Boxkite. It's a Python library. You really just need to do three things. You need to tell Boxkite your training time data and features at training time. So in this case, it's inside a Jupyter notebook. And then when you actually run the model, you need to log the predictions that the model is getting in production. And then just expose this /metrics endpoint on your REST API. And then the system will automatically scrape that. So what you get when you do this is a nice dashboard like this. So you get to see the baseline distribution over a training set for categorical variables, for continuous variables, and then also the distribution of in this case, the continuous output distribution of this model. And so you can see on the left-hand side here, that's these values, the training set for these two features, a categorical one and a continuous one, and then the continuous output of the model when it was trained. And then on the right, in the middle column here, we've got, well, what's the model doing now that it's running in production? And then on the right-hand side, you can see this measure of how these distributions vary from the training time to the inference time, and how that measure of the change, or rather how that measure of the difference between those distributions is changing over time. And this is really useful, so you can say, oh, my model wasn't drifting yesterday, but now it is. What changed? Like, did we change something about how we're passing production data to it, or did the world change and we need to retrain our model? So I'm going to show you a really quick demo of this in a real-life scenario. So this is a production-ready MLOps stack that uses Boxkite. And so we have a machine learning engineer who's going to train a model in a kubeflow notebook. They're going to push that model along with the histogram that's generated into MLflow to keep track of it. They're then going to deploy 3 model servers to Kubernetes that are going to fetch the models and the histograms from MLflow. Those models are going to be monitored by Prometheus, and then the ML engineer and the DevOps team can keep track of the behavior of the model in Grafana. So yeah, let's go ahead and see the demo. Basically, you can run this demo yourself at the Boxkite website, boxkite.ml. Just click on Tutorials, Kubeflow, and MLflow. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at kubeflow first. So we're just going to log into kubeflow. We're going to start up a notebook server. We're going to tell it to connect to MLflow. And then inside that notebook server, we've got this demo notebook. We're just going to run through the demo notebook. So we're going to import our dependencies. We're going to train that model just like you saw in the slides. And we can see that that model has been pushed to MLflow. We've got the histogram here, which is that record of the distribution of the baseline, the distribution also of the training inferences, sorry, the predictions at training time. And this histogram is bundled along with the model in MLflow so that they stay coupled together, because this histogram is specifically for this model and kind of captures a snapshot of the training data for that model. So now it might be helpful if I show this diagram at the same time. So we've trained that model, we've pushed it into MLflow. Now we're going to just check that we can read it back out of MLflow, and we can. And then we're going to deploy this code which logs predictions and exports that metrics endpoint. And we're going to do that just like this. I'm going to wait for, this is just boilerplate really for Kubernetes. I'm going to wait for that deployment to be rolled out. We're going to check that we can send requests to the model. And then we're going to send some load to the model. And so while the load is being sent to the model, you can go into Grafana here, log in with admin Grafana123, and then go and find the dashboard. And you can see the live distribution of that model being checked. So please try this demo yourself. It's on our website. You can go and poke around at your leisure and make sure that you fully understand what's going on. You can also deploy this stack yourself if you want to. All of the source code is on GitHub, including all the Terraform code if you want to deploy this, for example, on your own Kubernetes cluster, along with the Boxkite Python library that you can bring into your development environment. It's really easy to install Boxkite. It's just pip install Boxkite. And then you just need to configure Grafana and Prometheus appropriately to point at it. Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is please, if you like this, go and give our GitHub repo a star. We're an early open source project and we need your support. So yeah, please come and star us. Thanks for watching.